he won 603 baseball games.
Wow.
And he won 123 football games. And he just kept on coaching. And he passed away about a week and a half ago. So I went to the viewing and the funeral. I found this, and I was at another funeral where the priest Michael Doyle, he changed it. So it should be more of a celebration. This is for the family and wife of Russ Spicer. Along the Cooper Creek, on my way to Locust Wood Cemetery, I saw a large shadow on the ground and looked up. A bald eagle was flying west above the water. I had heard of eagles around Cooper River, but I had never seen one before. I thought of an old song, part of which goes, I will raise you up on eagle's wings. Russell Spicer was Native American. I just felt that was him. That eagle was him. The spice of many lives. How do you bury a legend? How do you bury Red Grange, the galloping ghost? How do you bury Jim Thorpe? How do you bury Harry Callis or Richie Ashburn? How do you bury the memory of how to turn a double play, or of Haddonfield's bread and butter, the quarterback option? How do you bury the memory of a coach who noticed it all, from how strong the opposing center fielder had on the opposition, to the back pocket of your baseball pants being unbuttoned? Spice was the one you knew would go on forever. After all, this was the man who was able to laugh in the face of death. I remember when he collapsed on a very hot, humid May morning following the ceremony to name Radnor Field after him. Worried family and friends gathered around Spice as he lay on the grass. After a few moments, he opened his eyes, looked around, and asked if it was now going to be a memorial field. This guy was going to coach forever. Back in the 50s, Spice told speedy halfback Pony Wilson how to fake out the tacklers on a punt. 30 years later, Pony was watching a Sunday NFL game and saw the kind of play the coach was talking about unfold. A few minutes later, the phone rang. It was the coach. Did you see that punt return, Pony? Spice asked. That's exactly what I meant. Spice even coached in his sleep. A few weeks before his death, Kay said he woke her up, ranting about a ball down the right field line. Could anybody get it? This could be the ball game. He went on and on, until exasperated, Kay said, Russ, it's a foul ball. Oh, Coach said, and became immediately quiet. But fair was the word I heard most often in reference to Spice himself. Out in right field, I once lost track of a ball because I was watching the runner on first take off. I heard the crack of the bat and looked up, while the ball rolled past me. While I was searching the sky. Coach called me over when I came back to the bench, and I thought, oh wow, here it comes. But he only mentioned another play later in the inning. My teammates weren't nearly so kind. Ground! Or air! They yelled every time a ball was hit to me at practice the next day. Ground! Air! I never took that down. The older I got, the more I realized there were many levels to what I learned from Spice. Some years ago, I was surprised to see him at Haddon Township baseball practice. Spice told me he was helping out with the Hawks. because the Haddonfield coach said they didn't really need him. I felt a little sad and even wondered if Haddon Township really needed him. He told me he was trying to get the players to communicate more and how important that was in an actual game. But it didn't really sound that important to me. So I was surprised when the Haddon Township coach called his players in and said they were going to work on communicating on pop flies and plays in the outfield. The next day, on the radio, I heard the findings of the commission investigating September 11th. Condoleezza Rice said the main reason for the hijackers' success was a lack of communication among security officials. Skin to skin. That was the sign for a squeeze play. We got a man on third with the winning run and only one out. We were all clapping, palm to palm, skin to skin. The squeeze is on. The runner's sprinting down the line. Hey, it's Spice himself, moving faster than he has in years. Oh man, the batter has to get that bunt down. Coach was a stickler when it came to bunts. And this one was for all the marbles. The batter makes contact. Thank goodness the ball was on the ground. Come on, Russ, slide, hit the dirt, safe! The umpire cries, his arms shooting out in both directions. You're home, Pony Wilson shouts through the dust and gives Spice a hand up. While on the bench, Eddie Steiger shades in the diamond on the scorecard under inning 7, across from the name R. Spicer. We win. The game is over. But the real game you left us with, Spice, will never be over. As long as there is a kid somewhere who on the first warm day in March picks up a baseball with a couple of broken seams and an old wooden bat and says, "Come on, Pop, let's go over to Tatum Field and hit a few." Thank you. Thanks a lot.